Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to That Girl's Yoga YouTube channel. Today for our practice, it's going to be an all levels flow class, adding in transitions. For those times where you've been practicing gentle flow yoga for a while and you really want to step into a deeper awareness of your practice. I will offer modifications to make this practice more challenging and also to make this practice a little more on the gentle side. And I invite you to honor where you are today and to just let yourself have fun and to not force yourself to do anything that doesn't feel authentic, to not do something that doesn't feel like it's a part of your organic practice. What we'll need for class today is 2 blankets if you have them. If not, no worries. You could also use thin pillows. They can work as well. And a couple of blocks, or even 1 block is sufficient if that's better for you, or anything that you have that resembles a block. We're going to get started today in Sukhasana. Sukhasana is easy cross-legged seated pose. You might see here that I have a blanket, and I've got my blanket folded in half. And my blanket is creating this really nice rectangular shape. It's kind of a chunky rectangular shape. And what that does is it creates a little bit of a lift to my hips so that I can get a nice tilt to my pelvis. And why we want to do that is to help open up the pelvis, because that's a really important area as we get started in our practice and where the stress response is held in the hip flexors. This is going to help us to open the area of the deep front line of the body and to get these deep core breathing muscles nice and stimulated so we can get a really beautiful flow of breath happening in our practice. Cross your legs at the middle of the shins, and then you can scoot a little bit forward on your blanket. If you want to pull the extra fleshy part of the buttocks out to the side, take a moment to do that. Rest your hands onto your thighs and let your sternum lift nice and tall. The sternum is the breastbone, and that is going to help to create length in the spine as you feel your tailbone press down into the support beneath you. If you'd like to use a chair instead, if you're uncomfortable sitting in Sukhasana, grab yourself a chair, make sure that there's support for your spine and that your feet are firmly rooted on the ground. Let your eyes softly close as you begin to tune into the breath. Invite the tongue to rest and settle where it feels most comfortable in the mouth. Soften the space between the eyebrows and the skin across the forehead. Relax to the right temple and the left temple. And notice and observe as you feel the shoulders release away from the ears. Collarbones gently broaden. As you feel yourself stepping into your practice. The interesting thing about the mindset is that we can get pretty attached to moving forward with the mind. And sometimes our body isn't quite ready for that. And the interesting thing about all of that is that the mind and the body are not separate. They are actually one. But the mind is so intelligent and designed to keep us safe that the mind can get carried away and then the body is trying to play catch up. In your practice today, I invite you to honor where your body is. Even if your mind is urging the body to come along with the mind, maybe you find that happy medium. Where can you meet in the middle? And to help us with that, awareness is I'm going to talk a little bit about the three brains that we have. We have a gut brain, we have a heart brain, and a cranium. So this is our main brain, the brain that we're used to using. Now, what we do is we create social connections. Social connections are when we close our eyes and we invite our body, our physical body, to feel comfortable within this physical space that it's in. Without opening the eyes, notice the surroundings that are around you. Maybe you're in your favorite room at home. I know I am. I'm in my yoga studio, which is one of my favorite spaces to find my connection and to get to connect with you. So just notice the surroundings. Maybe there's a particular energy in the room. Maybe some particular sounds or scents that you can smell or hear around you. And then let your awareness travel to your belly. Now, our gut belly is where the breath begins. Our breath primarily starts with the deep core breathing muscles. And I'm not going to bore you with all the details today, but I will share with you that the deep front line of the body consists of our hips, our pelvis, our low back, our legs, our ribs, belly, chest, shoulders, and neck. And the muscles within the head, the neck. And all of these are going to work together. What happens is when we focus on the breath first and foremost, we want to sense the breath in the belly. So we'll take the right hand and place it onto the belly and the left hand onto the heart. When you inhale, take a breath and then feel that hand on the belly gently expand. And when you exhale, feel the belly gently soften and the hand on the belly soften and lower. Inhale to feel into the expansion, and then exhale to soften. You don't necessarily have to shape the breath, just be aware of the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Gentle rise of the hand on the belly, possibly the hand on the heart on the inhale. And then feel the hand on the belly soften and all the muscles soften on the exhale. Sense that there is stimulation to the gut brain, and that information is being sent to the heart brain. As the information is sent to the heart brain, you can feel the hand on the heart, receiving this connection from the breath. And then since that connection, move farther from the heart brain up into the cranium. Notice how you're feeling in your physical body today during this practice. And then take a moment as you're feeling into this connection of your breath to sense the expansion in the belly with each inhale, and how that expansion moves gently up in through the ribs into the heart center, possibly up into the cranium. When you exhale, feel the brain soften, the heart brain soften, and the belly brain soften. Notice if there's any areas that might be calling out to your attention in your body. And we'll send our breath into those areas. Invite those areas to soften around the breath. And as you feel that sense of softness beginning to fall around you and within you, sense yourself stepping into the practice. And notice if there is an intention that you would like to set for your practice today. Maybe something that you want to bring into the practice. Maybe something that you've been focusing on for a week, several weeks, or a few months. Or maybe you just want to be here for the sake of being here. There doesn't have to necessarily be an intention. Just allow yourself to be completely mindful as you feel the weight of the hands. Support the body as the body feels supported by the earth, supported by your breath. And then once you have that intention set, let's all gather those intentions together as you release the hands, lift the arms up to the sky, bring the hands together, and then bring those palms in toward heart center. Feel that intention release deeper into the heart brain. Inhale again, feel the hands move past the belly brain, lift up as the arms reach above the heart, above the cranium. Bring it all back into the cranium as the thumbs just gently graze the third eye, maybe through the tip of the nose, in toward the sternum. One more round. Inhale, lift and gather. Feel all that energy rise from your intention in all three brains. Bring the thumbs to touch at the third eye, to the tip of the nose, through the lips, past the chin, into the heart center. Take a moment here as you keep the hands into the heart. Gently bow the chin into the chest. Feel yourself being supported by the breath, supported by your physical body. As you place your hands onto your kneecaps, gently let the eyes open and you'll recross the legs in the opposite direction. It's going to feel a little funky at first. Make any necessary adjustments you need to make. Let your hands just gently wrap over the fronts of the knees. Inhale for seated cow pose. Gently lift the sternum, let the gaze lift slightly, round through the back, and then round through the spine as you bring the chin into the chest. When we create this roundedness, it's more of an arch in our cow pose. Exhale to round, then there's that traditional rounding of the spine. Inhale to find length and extension. Exhale to soften into flexion. Take a few more rounds at the pace of your breath. Easy, gentle, slow, controlled movements. And after this last exhale, lean to your right to come in Sufi circles. Fold forward, round through the left, round through the spine, round to the right, fold forward. This doesn't have to be a big movement. If you take a look at me, this movement can be really small. Eyes can stay closed or open. And what we're really doing is just stimulating through deep front line, bringing that energy up from Muladhara, our root chakra, through Sushumna Nadi, the inner channel of the spine, all the way up to the crown chakra and beyond. Reverse the direction of your Sufi circles. Last round. Come on back to center. Meet me in a tabletop pose. If you need a blanket for the knees, please offer yourself a blanket for the knees. Knees underneath the hips, the palms underneath the shoulders. Once you get into your tabletop pose, toes can be curled or tops of the feet can be flat. Inhale with a neutral spine. Feel the crown of the head lengthen. Exhale to round through the spine for cat pose. Pubic bone points in toward the belly button, chin into the chest. Inhale, let the tail lift first. Feel that move through the spine to broaden through collarbones for cow pose. Exhale and round for cat. Keep moving, pace of the breath. Easy, gentle, slow, steady movement. You might sense that each of our cat-cow is similar to our seated, just a different approach. As you come back to center, press yourself back into an extended child's pose. Big toes touch, knees are slightly wider than the hips. If your knees are sensitive, please slip a blanket behind the backs of the knees. Elbows can rest down, forehead can rest down, or you can keep elbows lifted. Press the hips back toward the heels. Breathe into the space of the back body. Softly sigh the air out as you exhale. One more round. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, sigh all the air. Inhale, come on up into tabletop pose. Transition into half sunbird. Knees underneath the hips, palms underneath the shoulders. Extend the right leg out behind you. You'll keep a flex to the right foot, square out the hips. Round to the spine, bring the knee into the chest, the nose toward the knee. Inhale to lengthen, feel the sternum still lifted. Exhale to round. Stay here if you're staying gentle in your practice today. If you're going a little deeper, come into a full sunbird by extending out through the left arm. Exhale to round, knee into the chest or toward the elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Find steadiness in the breath, steadiness in the movement. Remember, if the body is saying to you, oh wow, this is kind of challenging, you've got your half sunbird option. Last round as you exhale, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower right hand, left hand down, lower right knee down. Meet me standing on the knees. Inhale to lift the arms up toward the sky. Exhale, bend the elbows, sigh it out, Prana Mudra. Place right hand to right hip, lift left arm up and over for a lateral bend. Come on back to center, switch to the second side. Come on back to center, lift both arms up to the sky. Exhale to twist to the right. Keep your hips nice and square. Right arm goes behind you, head turns. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale to twist to the left. Hips are square. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend the elbows, sigh it out. Prana Mudra, second side. Back into your tabletop pose. Find yourself nice and steady, sternum stays lifted. That's going to protect the low back. We extend left leg for half sunbird. Now if half sunbird is going well for you, round through the spine, knee into the chest, nose toward the knee. Inhale to lengthen and extend. Exhale to round. You want to go deeper, extend out through right arm, elbow toward the knee, or stick with knee toward chest. Breathe into the extension. Soften into the flexion. One more exhale to round. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower down, press back, extended child's pose. Take a breath in and sigh the air out. Inhale back to tabletop pose. Grab onto your blocks if you want to use them for your low lunge. There's never a have to in any of these practices that I offer you here. Take your right foot and step your right foot forward, but notice the knee. Let it come up into the chest as the foot steps forward. So we use these deep rotator and extensor muscles. You'll notice that we use the breath for that. As we step that foot forward, we're using the gut brain to speak to the heart, to speak to the cranium. Let your arms lift up to the sky for Anjaneyasana. Good. Lower the hands down onto the blocks. Extend out through the right leg for half split pose. Try to keep your chest lifted. Make sure that your right toes point up toward the sky. Gaze is about 6 feet out in front of the right big toes. You hug the right hip back. Notice where the balance comes from. Those of you that want to go a little deeper, maybe you lower your blocks down a notch. Try to keep a nice long line of energy from the crown of the head to the tail. When we round in these forward folds, especially when we're in a gentle practice and we're really not used to it, it can stop the flow of energy. Those of you that want to go a little deeper, you can lower your blocks down one more notch or just set them off to the side. Hug right hip back. Breathe and observe. Is this feeling organic and authentic to you? Do you need a little bend into your knee, or do you need to keep the blocks under the hands? Make your way back either by placing hands onto the blocks or not. Bend into the right knee. Place the right foot onto the mat, runner's lunge. Curl the left toes, lift the left knee up. We're on our hands on the blocks. Our chest is lifting up off our thigh, even if you have to come onto your fingertips like you see me do. Try to keep your left heel nice and lifted. Hug the right hip back. And then look, make sure that your knee is right above your ankle. You can always move it here. That helps to create awareness. We'll step the left foot up to meet the right foot for forward fold. Inhale for flat back, extend out through the spine. Exhale to fold. Walk the hands onto the thighs, bend into the knees, press into the heels, let your chest lift up, Tadasana. Lift arms up toward the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to release, hands in toward heart center. Lengthen right arm by the side, lift left arm up and over for Ardha Chandrasana. Inhale, bring right arm to meet left arm. Exhale, second side, lateral bend. Inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, lift your chest for a little back bend. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take arms out wide, swan dive for forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Remember, a bend into the knee can be there. Exhale to fold. Now bend into your left knee. Step your right foot back for runner's lunge. Now lower the right knee down. Lift your arms up toward the sky, Anjaneyasana. Take a breath in, and then bring the hands down onto the blocks. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split pose. Extend out through the left leg. Let your chest stay lifted. Hug the left hip back. Now really notice, this is an area where a lot of us tend to be a little tighter, is our hamstrings. And in our hip flexors and our hip, these deep rotator and extensor muscles. If that's the case, remember a bend into the knee is perfectly acceptable. You want to go a little deeper. Make sure that the left toes point to the sky. You can always lower the blocks. Find that line of energy, crown of the head, straight down toward the tail, as if it were in a long diagonal line. You want to go deeper, lower the blocks again, or remove the blocks. I'll share with you that this is my tighter side because of an injury that I am still working through, still healing from. And I'm not going to try to move my blocks down one more notch because I know it's not going to work for me. Take 3 more rounds of breath. and place your blocks once again if you want to use them on high. And then bend into the left knee, curl the right toes, lift the right knee up. We're back to runner's lunge. Step the right foot forward to meet the left foot for forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, flat back. Exhale to fold. Step back to down dog. From your down dog, relax the head and the neck, engage through the triceps as you press out through the heels of the palms. Extend out through the fingers and feel the hips lift up high. If you want to create some movement, bend one leg as you straighten the other. And continue by just gently pedaling out through the feet as you alternate with the legs. On your next inhale, either lower down to the knees to shift forward for knee down plank, or come up onto the tiptoes and shift forward for high plank. In your high plank, you want to have the hips in line with the shoulders. Tailbone is long. If you're in knee down plank, we have the shoulders over the wrists, the toes are curled. Bend down, bend at the elbows, slowly lower down onto the chin, the chest, and the belly for prone pose. Tops of the feet are flat, palms under the shoulders, forehead releases down. Now as you hug the elbows in toward the ribs, that'll help you to keep that sternum lifted. Inhale, lift up, low cobra. Exhale, down to release. Inhale again, lift up, low cobra. And exhale, down to release. We'll take one more round. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come on back to down dog. Take another breath in. Sigh the air out as you exhale. Next inhale, gentle bend into the knees. Place the gaze forward, step to the top of the mat. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale for flat back, extend out through the crown. And exhale to fold. With a neutral spine, lift arms up to the sky. There can be a bend into the knees. Exhale to release and bring hands in toward heart center. Surya Namaskara A. Next inhale, lift arms up. Exhale, yogi's choice, either swan dive or hands through heart, Uttanasana. Inhale, bring hands to the shins for flat back. Exhale to fold, step back. High plank, knee down plank, or skip the flow altogether. Lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale for low cobra. If you're ready for high cobra, lift, keep your legs onto the mat. Exhale to release. Inhale, back to down dog. Exhale. Stay here for another round of breath. Next inhale, gaze goes forward. As you exhale, step, hop, or float, top of the mat. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold. Lift arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale to release and bring hands in toward heart center. Inhale to lift arms up. Exhale, yogi's choice, forward fold. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold, step or hop back. You choose vinyasa or skip. If you're ready for Chaturanga Dandasana, lower halfway. Inhale for up dog or low cobra, your choice. Exhale, press back, down dog. On the next inhale, the right leg will lift up to the sky. Bend into the knee. And then step the foot forward between the hands for runner's lunge. You can grab your blocks if you'd like them. Lower your left foot down. Keep that left foot at 45. Come on up. Warrior two. There's a nice bend into the front knee. You might want to walk that foot forward to make sure the knee is right over the ankle. Press into the back foot as you hug the right hip back. Next inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale to side angle. Hand can come to the thigh or out in front of you or behind the foot. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, your choice of side angle. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat. Come to the ball of the back foot, step front foot back to meet back foot, and flow through your vinyasa or skip it. One of the best ways I've learned how to do it with transitions is to lower down to the knees, and then just gently hug elbows in to lower down into prone. Inhale to low cobra or up dog. Exhale, set yourself back into down dog. You can take your time with that. Now I'm going to cue that for the next round about how we take our time in our vinyasa so that you can learn to be very comfortable in vinyasa. Next inhale, left leg lifts. We keep the hips nice and square. Bend the knee with control. Shift forward and then step your left foot forward to come into runner's lunge. Lower right foot down. Lift your arms up, cartwheel them out for warrior two. Gaze goes toward the front hand. Take an inhale, exhale, sink in. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, side angle, your choice. This is full variation. This is transition variation. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, side angle, your choice. Inhale to reverse. Exhale to side angle. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, come to the ball of the back foot. Step front foot back to meet back foot. Those of you that are transitioning with me will do down dog. And then you'll lower down to the knees. Shift the chest forward. Lower all the way down to prone. Inhale, low cobra. Just a slight lift up, hug elbows in. Exhale to release. To come out, we inhale to knee down plank. We curl the toes, press hips up to the sky, down dog. Next inhale, gaze goes forward. As you exhale, step, hop, or float, top of the mat. Inhale to flat back, and exhale to fold. Lift the arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale to release, hands come in toward heart center. Now grab onto a block. And I'm gonna turn to the side here because I wanna show you standing half moon pose. It can be a very challenging pose for a lot of students. So we're gonna set ourselves up so that our right foot is about 7 to 12 inches away from the block. And then you're gonna step your left foot back to come into warrior two. Open out the arms. Now, there's a few different ways you can do this. One of the ways that I find the easiest is to come onto the ball of my back foot. And you'll see now we're in crescent lunge pose. Arms will lift. We keep that back heel nice and lifted. There's a little bend into the back knee. And then you can lean forward, place right hand onto the block, and then we lift the left leg up. Now your left hand can come to your hip as you open. And what we want to think of is opening out through the hips, the inner thigh muscles. If you fall out like I just did, that's okay. Maybe your gaze is down. Maybe your gaze is out in front. And maybe your gaze is looking up towards your hand. Take one more breath. And then step back for warrior two. Straighten out through the front leg. And we'll go to the second side. Come into warrior two. Now, it can be challenging to learn this, but what I found is as I continued to practice and I continued to learn these transitions, it became a lot easier for me. So this is my goal for all of you that are learning transitions. So we'll sink into our front hip for warrior two. Now you want to try crescent lunge, you can do that. Another way to do it is to lean forward in your warrior two, keep the bend into the left knee, place your right hand to your hip, and then you hop that right foot up as you lower the left hand down onto the block. As the right leg lifts, it stays in line as much as you can with the hip. There's a flex to the foot, and you feel that there's a nice extension across the chest and the belly. Maybe the arm lifts, maybe you keep it onto your hip. It's challenging. Come on back to warrior two. Good. Straighten through the front leg. Bring the hands onto the hips. And then stand onto your mat so that you're sideways. Squeeze the elbows together as the hands stay on the hips. Inhale to lengthen the gaze up to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Now you've got a block close by. You can always place it underneath the head to rest the crown of the head on. The block can go out in front of you and you can extend it to extend out through the arms. Skip the block altogether and maybe walk the hands back. Lots of things you can do here to learn these transitions. Let the weight be even in the toes and in the heels. One more breath in. Walk the hands under the chest. Inhale to flat back. Exhale, once again, fold. Walk your hands onto your hips. Squeeze your elbows in and let the sternum lift you up. Step your feet back together. Now, if you need support in squat pose, you'll take your blanket and you can have it folded like I have mine. You can set it onto the mat. And you'll set your heels onto the blanket so the arches of the feet are off the arches of the feet are wrapping over the blanket. Hands come into heart. Inhale to gently lift the chest. Exhale, bend into the knees and sink the hips back. So maybe this is your squat. Maybe that's as far as you can go, and that's okay. Maybe you can take it down and bring the elbows in between the thighs, the thumbs into the sternum. Or, if none of those are working for you, I'm going to show you one that might work. If it is working for you, stay in your variation. Those of you that want to learn this variation, you'll take your block and you'll place it on horizontal. And you can come to have a seat onto the block. Then bring the elbows in between the thighs, step the feet a little wider than the hips, and you're in squat with support of the block. I get this a lot where people say, oh, that block's not enough for me to sit on. You can use 2 blocks. So if you need more space, this will help you feel a lot more at ease. Good. Take a breath in. and sigh the air out. Those of you that are standing in squat, make your way back to a down dog. Those of you that are in squat and you don't have the blocks under you, follow along with the same cues I'm going to give the people with the blocks. Bring your right hand behind, bring your left hand behind, come over the blocks or the blanket and lower down. Set your blocks off to the side and make your way back into down dog. Lower down to the knees and keep your left knee down and extend your left hand a little bit out in front of you. Extend through the right leg and come into a modified side plank. Now lift up out of the waist and then bring your hand back down and we'll lower that right knee down. Now we'll move to the second side. Keep the opposite knee down, extend out the opposite leg, and lift that arm at the same leg that's extended for your side plank. Really sense that they're getting a lot of space here in the body. One more breath. And then lower down and press back, extended child's pose. Take a breath in. Sigh the breath out. Use your hands to press yourself up and come to lie onto your back. If you can lie in the back with no blanket underneath the head, please try to do so for our bridge pose. Step your feet so that they're hips width distance apart. Rest the arms by the sides. Now you'll notice that I have a round mat, and if you have a traditional mat, you're gonna have the sides of the mat that you can grab onto right here. You might wanna walk the heels closer to the glutes, but if you have sensitive knees, you might not wanna walk them quite so close. On your next inhale, let your hips lift up toward the sky for bridge. Doesn't have to be a lot. Exhale to lower down. Sense that there are magnets that are in between the legs that are pulling towards each other, but that they're not going to bring the knees together, just that there is some magnetic current there. There's some energy that you can sense that we're active in the legs. Feel the feet press into the mat. If you need a modification, bend the elbows, palms face each other, fingertips face to the sky. And you'll just lift the hips, and this will give you a lot more stability, especially if your legs are wobbly. For those of you that are ready to stay in bridge, release your dynamic bridge. Maybe you tuck one shoulder underneath the upper back and the other shoulder. Release the buttocks. Let the tailbone feel free so that the quad muscles are going to be keeping us here. Breathe and observe. Where does the mind go? Does the mind want more than what you're giving? Can you feel satisfied? One more breath. Release the hands and slowly lower down. You'll grab onto one of your blocks. Press the hips up toward the sky. There's 3 variations with the blocks. For very gentle, we're going to keep the block on low. For moderate, we'll bring the block to medium. If you have a very sturdy block, like my blocks are hard recycled foam. Now, if they're really sturdy, you can use them. If they're thin and really flimsy, I would probably stay away from a high block. I wouldn't go any higher than medium. But if this is in your practice and you like to use a block on tall, maybe you come to the tiptoes, lift your hips up, and you're going to turn it so that it's on its skinny end and it's right underneath the sacrum. Relax the ribs down as best as you can. Feet are still hips width distance, arms down by the sides. Let your eyes close and just breathe. Try not to turn your head. If anything feels foreign or uncomfortable, please don't stay. Now, if any of you want to come into a supported shoulder stand, it's definitely more challenging on a high block. If you're on a high block right now and you want to do shoulder stand, and you're not quite sure how you're going to feel lifting the legs, you'll just lower that block back down to medium or small. When you feel steady, bring one knee up and then bring the second knee up. Now, this is my favorite shoulder stand to teach. It's obtainable for the majority of all students. You want to go deeper, you can extend one leg and extend the other leg. Now, if you feel too wobbly in the blocks, remember, you can lower them. Feet don't have to come together, but if they do, press out through the balls of the feet, spread out through the toes. Breathe. Notice the mindset. Do you see how gut belly is communicating with gut brain? Excuse me, I got my words mixed up. Gut brain is communicating with heart brain. Heart brain is softening and communicating with cranium. This nice reverse blood flow from the belly to the heart and from the heart to the brain. Very calming and soothing to the nervous system. If you're comfortable, stay for 2 more rounds. If you're finished, just bring the knees into the chest. Either one at a time or together. Be very, very mindful in the way you're creating this movement. Lower the feet down, either one at a time or very carefully together. Once the feet come down and the feet are rooted, press the hips up, remove your block, and slowly, slowly, slowly lower the hips down. Now, we never want to bring the knees into the chest after a back bend, especially bridge or supported shoulder stand. Keep your feet so that they are either together or hips width distance, arms out to the sides, windshield wiper. Gently release the knees to one side as the head turns in the other direction. Come on back to center. Move to the second side. Easy, gentle windshield wipers to help reset the spine. If you need a blanket under your head, please offer yourself a blanket under the head. Now let your knees come into your chest. Take a little rock side to side to massage the back. Transition into wide knee circles. Big toes touch, hands to the kneecaps. We circle and open out wide. Reverse the direction. Transition into Supta Baddha Konasana. Now this is why we have 2 blocks and why we have 2 blankets. If there's a blanket under your head, you might want to use your 2 blocks and then just tuck them underneath your thighs or under the knees. As the feet come together, the knees go out wide. Now, if the blocks don't feel comfortable and you need something a little less structured than having those blocks, then you can use your 2 blankets. And what you'll do is you'll take one of them, fold it in half, and you can tuck it underneath one leg. And the same thing with the other one. And as you get yourself nice and comfortable here, take the arms and open them out to the sides. Backs of the hands rest onto the floor. Close the eyes. Relax through the muscles in the face. And just allow yourself to receive. Notice if you're trying to hold on to any of the muscles here in this posture. Can you invite those muscles to soften? And notice that inner dialogue. Where does the mind go? Throughout your practice today, you might have noticed the areas that your mind went in and how you were able to cultivate an awareness by staying with that connection of your breath. And maybe none of that occurred to you in your practice, and that's perfectly okay. That is why this is called a practice, because a practice is really just another form of union, bringing together knowledge and movement, which is also known as yoga, another form of union. And ultimately, all of it is known as another form of love. Allow yourself to stay here and to receive the breath as you feel this beautiful space we're cultivating within the pelvis and in the low back. And allow yourself to just be present with what is. Take your hands and bring them to the outsides of the thighs. Walk the feet in, and then bring the right knee into the chest. Come into a half wide knee circles. Very gentle, easy movement here. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Reverse the direction. And then as you bring the right knee into the chest, lengthen the left leg long. Switch your hands so your left hand's to the outside of the right knee and come into separate knee down twist. We pull the right knee across the body with the left hand. You can come to the outer edge of the left hip if that feels comfortable. You can turn this into a wrap. You could do a single wrap or a double wrap. Or it could quite simply be supine twist. Head can turn to the right, relax through the collarbones and the shoulder. Take a breath in. Soften as you roll back to the spine. Bring the right knee into the chest. Forehead lifts to the right knee. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale to full body stretch. Exhale, bring the left knee into the chest. Right knee can bend or the leg can stay long. Half wide kneed circles. Reverse the direction. Prepare for separate knee down twist. Right leg can go long. Switch the hands. The right hand gently guides the left knee across the body. Separate knee down twist. You can always come to the outer edge of the right hip. You can turn this into a single wrap by crossing left leg over right, or a double wrap by wrapping left foot around right shin. Release left shoulder down, head turns to the left. Remember, you have the option of supine twist instead. Honor where you are. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, unwind, come on back to center, left knee into the chest, right leg is long. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale to a full body stretch, point fingers, point toes. Exhale, sigh all the air out of the body and prepare yourself for Shavasana. Maybe you like a blanket under the head. Maybe a folded blanket behind the backs of the knees, or a pillow if you have one. Many different things that you can do to get yourself comfortable here. Once you find yourself nice and comfortable, close the eyes. Rest your arms by your sides. And invite yourself to completely soften and rest. Feel the breath as it gently slows and softens. Feel the gentle stimulation in the body. As the practice integrates, feel your heart rate slow. Relax through the jaw, the muscles in the face. As you take this very, very special, sacred, important time to rest, soften, relax, and enjoy your Shavasana. If you want to stay longer in your Shavasana, invite yourself to take this special time to stay longer. If you're ready to come out of your practice, gently deepen your breath as you wiggle the fingers and the toes. Invite your knees to come into your chest and roll your body to your right hand side. Take your left hand and place it over the center of the heart. Take a moment to acknowledge yourself for coming to your practice. Maybe give yourself thanks or give your body thanks. And then use your hands to press yourself up. Come on back up into Sukhasana and find yourself in a comfortable seat. Hands come in together into Anjali Mudra at heart center. And let your chin gently bow into your chest. When we learn transitions, it can be quite challenging. When we learn about our mindset, we learn that we can have a mind full of things to do, or that we can be mindful in our approach. We can be mindful in our practice, both on our mat and off of our mat. I'm going to be bringing you more videos in the next coming weeks. Probably throughout the end of the year, I'll be working on transitions as we transition from 2020 to 2021. And I know we still have 3 months left, but I thought this would be a really nice time to help us to explore a little deeper in our practice and to offer ourselves a little more if that's what we're looking for. And of course, you're always welcome to stay in a more gentle awareness, and I will always offer modifications for that as well. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you for joining along. Thank you for liking my YouTube channel and for liking my videos. If you know of anybody that you think might really benefit from this type of a practice, please share my account with them. I look forward to seeing you all real soon. If you have any questions, give me comments, send me a DM. There's lots of ways of getting a hold of me. Have a beautiful day. Bye, everybody.